Welcome back to our channel, where we explore innovative and sustainable business ideas. Today, we have an exciting topic that will surely pique your interest. Are you passionate about the environment and want to make a positive impact? Well, have you ever considered starting an urban beekeeping business? In this two-part series, we will guide you through the steps of launching your very own urban beekeeping venture. In Part 1, we'll cover the essentials, from understanding the benefits of urban beekeeping to acquiring the necessary knowledge and resources. So, grab a pen and paper because you're about to embark on a fascinating journey into the world of urban beekeeping. You might be wondering, why urban beekeeping? Well, let's take a deep dive into the fascinating world of bees, their critical role in our ecosystems, and the unique benefits of urban beekeeping. Bees are incredible creatures, with societies as complex as our own. As a beekeeper, understanding their behavior is key to your success. Today, we'll explore their biology, their social structure, and their amazing communication methods. Bees are insects, and like all insects, they have 6 legs, a 3-part body, a pair of antennae, compound eyes, and 1 pair of wings. The 3 body parts are the head, thorax, and abdomen. The head has antennae and eyes. The thorax is home to the wings and legs. The abdomen houses important organs for digestion, reproduction, and honey making. Now, not all bees in the hive are the same. There are 3 types of honeybee: workers, drones, and the queen. Each has a specific role. The queen bee is the most important bee in the hive. She is the mother to every other bee. The queen's main role is to lay eggs, sometimes thousands a day. And it's her scent or pheromones that keeps the hive functioning as a coherent unit. The worker bees, which are all female, do all the different tasks needed to operate and maintain the hive. When they're young, they work inside the hive doing jobs like cleaning and feeding the larvae. As they get older, they switch to foraging outside the hive for nectar, pollen, water, and certain sticky plant resins used in hive construction. Drones are the males. They have no stinger, and they do no work. Their sole purpose is to mate with a new queen if one emerges. Communication in the hive is a fascinating subject. Bees use a combination of chemicals called pheromones and special dances to talk to each other. The most famous of these is the waggle dance, a special figure-8 dance that forager bees use to tell other workers where to find a good source of food. Understanding these basics will make you a better beekeeper. It allows you to observe and interpret the behavior of your bees, to know if your hive is healthy, and to make decisions about when and how to intervene. Legal and ethical considerations for urban beekeeping. When considering urban beekeeping, it's crucial that we are mindful of our community and the law. Today, we're discussing the legal and ethical considerations you should be aware of before starting your urban beekeeping journey. Firstly, it's essential to check your local regulations. Laws regarding beekeeping vary greatly from city to city, country to country. You might find restrictions on where hives can be placed, how many hives are allowed, and mandatory registration of hives. Reach out to your local council or beekeeping association to get this information. Part of being a good beekeeper is ensuring that your bees don't become a nuisance to your neighbors. While bees are typically non-aggressive, they can sting if they feel threatened. It's your responsibility to ensure that your bees can leave and enter their hive without crossing paths with people. This can often be achieved with a well-placed fence or hedge that forces the bees to fly up and over human head height. Also consider the location of water. Bees need water, especially in hot weather, and if there's no water source in your hive area, they will find it elsewhere, like your neighbor's swimming pool. Provide a water source close to the hive to prevent this. Now, let's talk about swarm control. A swarm can occur when your hive becomes too crowded, and a large group of bees leave with the old queen to form a new colony. It can be alarming for people who are not familiar with bees, even though swarms are typically very docile. However, it's your responsibility to prevent swarming by managing your hive space and splitting your hive if necessary. Being a good beekeeper also means taking care of the health of your bees. This involves regular inspection for diseases and pests, and treatment as needed. Some locations require regular reporting of hive health. Finally, let's not forget about the honey. If you're planning to sell your honey, you need to adhere to food safety regulations. This might involve having your honey tested for quality and safety, and correctly labeling your honey jars. The world needs more beekeepers, but it's important that we do it right. By being considerate beekeepers, we can contribute positively to our community, to the environment, and to the bees. Essential beekeeping equipment and setting up your hive. Alright, you've done your homework, understood the basics of bee behavior, and checked out all the local regulations. Now, it's time to get our hands dirty and prepare for the arrival of our tiny buzzing friends. In this section, we're talking about the essential beekeeping equipment and setting up your hive. Beekeeping requires some specialized equipment. Don't worry, it's not too complex, but each piece has its role. Here's what you'll need. Firstly, the bee suit. A good bee suit protects you from stings and gives you confidence around your bees. Look for a suit with a veil that provides good visibility and securely fastens around wrists and ankles. Next, gloves. Some beekeepers prefer to work without them for better dexterity, but as a beginner, it's recommended to have a pair. Leather gloves provide good protection. Now, let's talk about the hive tool. This is a versatile piece of equipment that helps you separate hive boxes, lift frames, scrape off excess propolis or beeswax, and many other tasks. A smoker is another essential tool. Smoke has a calming effect on bees, making it easier and safer for you to inspect your hive. Remember to use it sparingly and responsibly. Now, on to the hive itself. There are several types of beehives, but the most common for beginners is the Langstroth hive. This type of hive is made up of boxes that stack vertically, with removable frames in each box where the bees build their comb. The hive should be placed in a location that's sunny, dry, and easily accessible for management but out of the way of pedestrian traffic. The hive entrance should ideally face south or southeast, to get morning sun, which encourages the bees to start their foraging. The ground under the hive should be dry and well drained. It's a good idea to have the hive raised a little off the ground, to prevent damp and to help with pest control. And remember, bees need water. So if there isn't a natural water source nearby, you'll need to provide one. Setting up your first hive is an exciting step. It's the foundation for your beekeeping journey. Obtaining your bees and introducing them to the hive. Now that we've set up our hive, it's time for the most exciting part, getting our bees and introducing them to their new home. In this section, we're covering how to obtain your bees and how to successfully introduce them to your hive. There are 3 main ways to get your bees. You can purchase a package, a nucleus colony, or you can catch a swarm. A package is a box containing a few pounds of bees and a separate, mated queen. It's the most common way for beginners to start. You literally pour the bees into your hive and install the queen in her special cage, and the workers will release her by eating through a sugar plug. A nucleus colony, or nuke for short, is a small working colony with a queen, workers, and brood on a few frames. You transfer these frames to your hive. The advantage of a nuke is that the colony is already functioning and can expand rapidly in the right conditions. Catching a swarm is the least predictable method, but also the most cost-effective because it's usually free. Swarms are generally quite docile and can be shaken into a box and then poured into your hive. However, it's best attempted with some experience or expert help. No matter how you obtain your bees, introducing them to your hive is a careful process. You need to ensure they accept their new home and their new queen. If using a package, this usually involves keeping the queen in her cage until the workers have accepted her, indicated by them feeding her through the cage. Remember, patience is key. Allow the bees to adjust to their new environment and start to establish themselves before conducting your first hive inspection. Getting your first bees is an experience you'll never forget. It's the moment you officially become a beekeeper. And that's a wrap for part 1 of our series on how to start an urban beekeeping business. Today, we explored the importance of urban beekeeping, the knowledge and resources you need to acquire, finding the perfect location, and the financial aspects of the business. But don't worry, there's still more to come. In part 2, we'll dive into the practical side of beekeeping, covering topics like hive maintenance, pest management, honey harvesting, and more. So, make sure you stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll bring you even closer to realizing your dream of running a successful urban beekeeping business. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe,